I shot my father in the knee on my 32nd birthday, right there in the middle of the backyard barbecue, with the Smith & Wesson he'd given me for my 18th. The bullet tore through his khakis like they were tissue paper, and the sizzle of burgers on the grill drowned out his first scream, until it didn't. Blood pooled on the flagstone patio, mixing with spilled Coors Light and the ketchup from Aunt Linda's potato salad. Everyone froze, Mom with her tongs mid-flip, Uncle Ray choking on a hot dog, my cousin Becca snapping pics on her iPhone like it was just another viral moment. "Happy fucking birthday to me," I said, the gun still warm in my hand, smoke curling up like a devil's cigarette. And that was before he confessed they'd sold my trust fund, before I told him I'd been pulling the strings on every goddamn dime for years. It started, like all good American tragedies, with a lie wrapped in a promise. I was 10 when Grandpa Harlan died, that old bootlegger turned real estate mogul who'd clawed his way from the Dust Bowl to a penthouse in Chicago. He left me the trust, $5 million. Meant to be my ticket out of the Rust Belt hellhole we called home in Youngstown, Ohio. For the kid, he'd growled in his will, eyes on me even from the grave, knowing Dad, my own father, Victor Hale, had a gambling itch that could bankrupt a casino. Mom, Evelyn. She was the enabler. All Southern belle charm with her Virginia drawl and her family-first bullshit. But she'd sign off on anything if it kept the lights on at our McMansion. They waited exactly 1 year after the funeral. I remember the night because it was the first time I saw Dad cry, not from grief, but from desperation. The Steelers were losing in overtime, and he was down 20 grand at the track. "Elliot," he slurred over the kitchen table, his breath like cheap whiskey and regret. "We gotta borrow from your fund." Just a loan. Grandpa'd understand. Borrow. Like it was my lunch money. I was 11, too young to fight. So I nodded. Because what kid argues with tears? They took $50K that night. Wired it straight to the bookies. By my 13th birthday, it was $500,000 gone casinos in Atlantic City. A sure thing real estate flip in Florida that flipped them the bird instead. But here's the hook they didn't see coming. I knew. Every penny. Grandpa wasn't just generous, he was paranoid as hell. He'd embedded a silent partner in the trust, a forensic accountant named Miriam Voss. This chain-smoking Jewish grandma from Brooklyn who'd audit the books quarterly and report straight to me, in kid-friendly letters hidden in comic books. "Elliot, my boy," she'd write, with doodles of superheroes fighting villains. "Your pa's treating your piggy bank like a slot machine." We got backups. We got claws. By 15, I was meeting her in seedy diners off I-80, slurping shakes while she laid out spreadsheets. "You're the principal now, kid." "They think they're trustees?" "Nah. You're the ghost in the machine." I didn't confront them. Not then. Revenge isn't a sprint, it's a slow bleed. The kind that leaves you wondering if the knife's even there until you're drowning in red. So I played the good son, straight-A student at Cheney High, quarterback on the varsity team, the all-American boy with a smile that hid teeth. College at Ohio State on a partial ride, majoring in finance because Miriam said it was armor for the war. Summers back home, I'd mow the lawn, grill brats with Dad, listen to Mom's stories about her debutante days while she sipped Chardonnay. All the while, the trust, now down to $2 million from their investments, was being funneled into shadows. My shadows. Dad's schemes got bolder. A strip mall in Cleveland that burned down mysteriously right after closing escrow, insurance payout to family holdings, but I rerouted half to an offshore account in the Caymans. Mom's charity for at-risk youth? Yeah, that siphoned cash to her pill habit, the one she hid behind yoga retreats in Sedona. I covered their tracks when the IRS sniffed around, forging docs with Miriam's help, taking the heat for a tax lien on my name at 21. "It's for the family," Elliot, Dad would say, clapping my shoulder like we were in it together. Family. The word tasted like rust. By 28, the fund was a husk, 100 grand left, most of it illusory, propped up by my countermeasures. I'd leveraged it into a web, shell companies in Delaware, crypto wallets, even a stake in a Pittsburgh tech startup that was my baby, unnamed on paper. They thought they owned me. I owned them. That birthday barbecue? It was the culmination. 32 candles on a cake shaped like a football. Dad's idea. Nostalgic for my glory days. The backyard was packed. Neighbors in cargo polos. Relatives from as far as Pittsburgh. A bounce house for the Rugrats because Becca's kid was turning 5 too. I showed up late, fresh from a board meeting in Columbus, where I'd just inked a deal making me a silent millionaire twice over. Dad pulled me aside by the cooler, his face flushed from Miller Lights, eyes darting like a cornered fox. "Elliot, son, we need to talk." He lit a Camel, the flame flickering in the humid August dusk. "About the trust. It's gone."
We invested it. Badly.
"But it's okay, we'll rebuild." "Your family."
Gone.
The word hung there, heavier than the humidity clinging to my skin. Mom hovered nearby, wringing her apron, her Botox smile cracking at the edges. I could see it, the panic, the half-baked apology scripted over morning mimosas. They thought I'd shatter, beg, maybe even thank them for the life lessons. Instead, I laughed. A deep, belly laugh that turned heads from the grill. "Dad," I said, pulling the Smith & Wesson from my waistband, unloaded. "Of course, until that moment, you sold my future for horse races and hookers. But here's the gift that keeps on giving." I chambered around, the click echoing like Judgment Day. His eyes widened, that old gambler's bluff crumbling. "I own it all. Every cent."
"And you?"
"You're about to lose everything." The shot rang out as the sun dipped below the rusting steel mills on the horizon. His knee buckled, and the party erupted, screams. Phones dialing 911. Uncle Ray tackling me too late. As the cops cuffed me on the dew-slick grass, Dad howling in the ambulance, I whispered to Mom, who was sobbing over his stretcher, "Tell him the war's just starting. Because birthday wishes aren't wishes, they're contracts." And mine was for blood. They released me on bail by midnight. Dad's lawyer, some slick Akron hack named Perry who'd handled his DUIs, posting it like it was chump change. The police station smelled like stale coffee and regret, fluorescent lights buzzing over drunks slumped in holding. "Attempted murder," the detective said. "A burly Irish guy with a Steelers mug. But your old man's signing a complaint. Says it was an accident." Family spat.
Accident. Sure.
I'd aimed low on purpose, no arteries. Just enough to hobble the bastard. Perry drove me home in his Lincoln, radio tuned to classic rock. Springsteen wailing about Born to Run ghosts. "Your pop's a survivor."
Kid.
"But this is messy." "Drop it."
Move on.
"Blood's thicker than ink." Thicker than ink. I almost laughed again, staring out at the neon blur of I-680. The billboards for mesothelioma lawyers and Jesus billboards flickering like bad omens. Ink was everything, ledgers,
Contracts.
The fine print that bound souls in this godforsaken corner of the Rust Belt. By dawn, I was in my apartment downtown. A loft in a converted mill with exposed brick and a view of the Mahoning River's oily shimmer. Miriam was waiting on Zoom, her face pixelated from her Jersey high-rise, cigarette dangling like a fuse. "Elliot, you crazy schmuck," she rasped, exhaling smoke that fogged the screen. "Shooting the messenger?" Now the whole clan's lawyered up. "What's the play?" "The play," I said, cracking open a bottle of Bulite rye. "The good stuff. Not Dad's rail swill. Is exposure. But slow."
Latching skewed.
I pulled up the dashboard, a custom app Miriam and I built. Tentacles into every account. The trust wasn't gone. It was a hydra. They'd sold it to a dummy corp in 2015, but I'd bought it back piecemeal through proxies. Current value, $12 million. Diversified in index funds. Green energy startups. Even a craft brewery in Cleveland that laundered the gains clean. Their debts? A mountain. Dad's bookie tabs at $300K. Mom's spa treatments funneling to a dealer in Warren. And the big one, the arson on that strip mall. I'd buried the evidence.
But now?
I'd dig. First move, the family group chat. It was blowing up, Becca's selfies of the chaos captioned, "WTF Uncle Elliot?" Aunt Linda praying emojis. Cousins speculating if I'd finally snapped from that divorce. Yeah, the divorce. Emily left 2 years back, taking half my visible savings, but none of the shadows. She thought I was broke. A mid-level accountant grinding at a firm in Columbus. "You're married to your spreadsheets." She'd said, packing her Louis Vuitton knockoff. Good riddance. She was collateral. Another layer Mom had woven to keep me docile, introducing us at a church picnic. Whispering about settling down. I typed, "Dad's right." It was an accident. But the trust? Lies end today. Check your emails. Then I hit send on the blast. PDFs. Bank statements. Wire transfers timestamped to Dad's poker nights in Vegas. Mom's cell payments to DR. Feel good. CC'd the whole clan.
Plus péri.
By 10 a.m., my phone was a war zone, voicemails from Mom sobbing. "How could you? Baby, we're your blood." Uncle Ray threatening disownment.
Blood.
There it was again. I drove to the hospital in Youngstown. The old St. Elizabeth's with its peeling paint and ER full of opioid ghosts. Dad was in a private room. Courtesy of his connections, some ward boss who'd owed him from the 90s steel strikes. Leg elevated. Morphine dazed. He looked small. The man who'd once bench-pressed me like a barbell now shriveled under the sheets. Mom perched beside him, her pearls askew, eyes red from crying off her mascara. "Elliot," she hissed as I entered. "You monster. Your father's in agony because of you." I pulled up a chair, legs crossed casual, like we were discussing fantasy football. "Agony? Try betrayal."
Mom.
"You sign the papers. Both of you." I slid my phone across the bed rail. The app opened to the Hydra's heads. "See that? 12 mil. Yours for the taking until you took mine." Dad's eyes cleared. Morphine be damned. He snatched the phone, scrolling with trembling fingers. "What the fuck is this? Cayman accounts? That Pittsburgh VC?
That's impossible."
We liquidated it all. Wrong. I leaned in, voice low, the room's beeps syncing with my pulse. Grandpa made me the shadow trustee at 12. Miriam Voss? Ring a bell? She taught me everything. You borrowed, I invested. You burned, I rebuilt. And that fire? I covered it. Forged the alibis. Took the IRS hit on my credit.
For you.
Mom gasped, hand to her throat like a soap opera queen. But
Why?
we were protecting you, protecting yourselves. I stood, towering over the bed. The clan's coming for answers. Uncle Ray's already texting me about family mediation. Tell them the truth. Or I will. Starting with the feds on that arson. Dad's face twisted, pain, rage. A flicker of pride? You little shit. All this time. You played us. Like you played Grandpa's grave. I paused at the door. The hallway's fluorescent hum calling me back to the light. Heal up.
Dad.
The party's just starting. Outside. The parking lot baked under a merciless sun. Asphalt shimmering like a bad bet. My phone buzzed. Becca. Uncle. Is it true? They stole from you. I didn't reply. Let the fractures spread. Revenge wasn't about the shot. It was the echo. That night, I met Miriam in person, first time in years, at a dive bar in Niles. The kind with peanut shells on the floor and a jukebox stuck on Johnny Cash. She looked the same, steel gray bob, cat-eye glasses, a blouse that screamed 80s power suit. Over wings and whiskey, she slid a thumb drive across the scarred oak. The dirt.
Kid.
Unredacted. Offshore trails. Pill scripts in your ma's name. Even that time your pop strong-armed a loan from the union. I pocketed it. Clinking glasses. You're a saint, Miri.
Nah.
Just a Jew who hates deadbeats. She eyed me sharp. But this vendetta? It's eating you. Walk away. You've won.
Won?
The words soured on my tongue. Winning was them in orange jumpsuits. Not shadows. Not yet, I said, signaling for another round. Outside. Thunder rumbled over the valley, promising rain that'd wash the blood, but not the stains. The family meeting was set for Sunday dinner at the old homestead. The McMansion on Oakwood Drive with its 3-car garage and faded, Hale family estate. 1985-inch plaque. Mom insisted, neutral ground, pot roast and prayers to heal the wounds. I showed up in chinos and a polo, the Smith & Wesson locked in my glove box, because some habits die hard. The driveway was packed, Ray's F-150, Linda's minivan, cousins spilling out like a reunion gone sour. Becca waved from the porch, her phone holstered for once, eyes wide with that millennial mix of gossip and guilt. Inside, the air was thick with Lipton iced tea and unspoken accusations. The dining room table groaned under Corningware, green bean casserole, Jell-O salad, Dad's special deviled eggs, though he was absent, still hobbling on crutches at home with a nurse. Mom fluttered like a wounded bird, ladling gravy with 4 smiles. Elliot, honey, sit by Ray. He's missed you. Uncle Ray, ex-steelworker turned union rep. Broad as a fridge with a gut from too many Iron Cities. He clapped my back hard enough to rattle teeth. Nephew. About the other night. Wild shit. Your pop's a tough old bird.
But you?
You got Harlan's fire. Fire.
Que?
Coming from the man who'd co-signed Dad's loans. Pocketing kickbacks on those union investments that tanked. We passed the rolls. Small talk about the Browns' dismal season. Becca's TikTok going viral with makeup tutorials. Then Mom cleared her throat. Pearls clicking. Family? We've got issues. but we're Hales. We stick. Ray leaned in, fork stabbing a ham slice. Issues? Try felonies.
Evie.
Elliot here's got proof. Wires.
Docs.
Victor's ass is grass if this hits the DA. Gasps rippled. Aunt Linda crossed herself.
Whispering hey mice.
Cousin Mike, the IT guy from Canton, muttered, "Holy shit. Vic embezzled from his own kid." Not embezzled, Mom snapped, voice cracking like thin ice. Borrowed. For all of us. That strip mall funded Ray's campaign. Linda's mission trips. Stop. I set my glass down, the clink cutting her off. All eyes on me. The prodigal turned prosecutor. Borrowed implies payback. You sold the fund to cover asses. Dad's debts.
Mom's.
Therapies. I glanced at her, the word laced with venom. She'd checked into rehab twice, official story, but the Zells too, massaged by Maria, told another tale. Becca piped up, voice small. But Uncle L, why hide it? All these years. I met her gaze. The kid who'd idolized me at Little League. Because family lies. And I learned from the best. I pulled out the laptop, slid it open like a deck of marked cards. Projections flickered. Their net worth. Mine. Clan's collective debt. 1.2 mil. Tied to Hale Holdings. The LLC Dad fronted. You all benefited. Ray's boat? From the flip. Linda's Buick? Casino comps laundered. I propped it up.
Now?
It crumbles. Chaos erupted. Ray slammed his fist. Gravy sloshing. You threatening us.
Boy.
Blood ain't disposable. Blood's accountable. I stood.
Cher scrapping parquet.
Sign the confession, admit the fraud, or I freeze the holdings. No more checks from the ghost. Mom dissolved. Tears carving rivers in her foundation. Please. Elliot. We're all you've got. All I've got. Laughter bubbled. Bitter as black coffee. You got me indicted at 21 for your tax dodge. Emily left because you poisoned her against me. Unstable, you called me. The room stilled. Becca's jaw dropped. Yeah. That's secret. Mom's whispers at Thanksgiving. Planting doubts till the marriage imploded. Ray lunged, but Mike held him back. Cool it. UNC. L's got the leverage. Leverage. The new god in Hale theology. By dessert, cheesecake no one touched. The deal was sketched. Dad confesses to mismanagement, repays via asset sales. Clan pitches in. No cops. No headlines. I nodded. But inside, the hydra coiled tighter. This was mercy. Real revenge? Personal. Driving back. Rain lashing the windshield. My phone lit with Emily's number. Blocked for months. But she'd unblocked. Curiosity or cash. Heard about the barbecue. Her text read. You okay? Coffee. Emily, blonde. Sharp as a stiletto. The girl who'd make you believe in second chances till she gutted you. We'd met at a OSU tailgate. Her sorority laugh cutting through the keg stands. She knew the surface, my job, the family drama glossed over.
But Mom?
She'd fed her the narrative. Elliot the flake. Trust fund baby squandering potential. Divorce papers cited irreconcilable differences, but the subtext was me, painted as the villain. I pulled over at a Sheetz, wipers thwacking like a metronome. Coffee sounds good, I typed. But no games. Her reply, heart emoji. Trap or truce. In this game, lines blurred. Next morning, Columbus skyline gray under drizzle. I hit the office, Hale and Associates. My firm on paper, but really a front for the web. Staff thought I was some hotshot CPA. Truth? I audited sins. Miriam called mid-meeting.
Kid.
The clans lawyering separate. Perry's out. Ray's got a pit bull from Cleveland. Good. I sipped espresso, overlooking the Scioto. Let M fracture. But Emily? She's circling. Old flame in a vendetta? Bad juju. Juju. Miriam's Yiddish slipping through. She's a loose end. I'll tie it. That night. Coffee turned to dinner at Schmidt's Sausage House in German Village, sauerkraut and reconciliation vibes. Emily looked good. Jeans hugging curves. Hair in a ponytail like college days. I saw the news, she said over Weisswurst. Eyes soft. Local paper buried it. But. You shot him? For real? For real.
No sugarcoat.
He sold my inheritance. You knew that part. She flushed. Fork pausing. Your mom. She said it was exaggerated. That you were volatile. Volatile. The word ignited. She drove the wedge. Called you after our fights.
Huh?
He's like his father. Emily's gaze dropped.
Yeah.
But I believed her. And you. You shut down. Wouldn't fight for us.
Fight.
Irony burned. I'd been fighting shadows while she packed. What now? I asked, voice steady. Forgiveness. She reached across.
Fingers brushing mine.
Warmth. Forbidden.
Or.
Help. I work at a firm now. Family law. Could mediate. Mediate. Or manipulate. I smiled, masking the calculus. Maybe. Dessert came black forest cake. Cherries like blood drops. As we parted in the lot, her kiss lingered tentative.
Testing.
Think about it.
El.
I did. All night. Tangled in sheets that still smelled of her perfume. Ally or Achilles' heel. Dawn broke with a text from Dad. Come alone. Truce.
Truce.
The word mocked as I sped north. Rain turning to sleet. The homestead loomed, lights on like a trap.
Inside.
Dad waited in the den. Crutches propped. A bottle of Glenfiddich open.
Pour one. Son.
I did. Settling into the leather wingback, Grandpa's chair. Talk. He swirled his glass. Ice clinking judgment. You win. The money's yours. But this hate? It's poison. Poison. I leaned forward. You fed it to me. His eyes. Bloodshot. Held mine. The fire. Wasn't me. It was Ray. Push me into it. Union debts. I took the fall to protect the family. Twist 1. Uncle Ray. The patriarch. The arsonist. Dad's confession cracked the facade. Proof. He slid a flash drive grainy video. Ray with a can of gas. Burn it. Or use it. But end this. I pocketed it. The room spinning slow. Mercy or more ammo. Outside. Sleet stung like accusations. The clan's fractures? Just beginning. Ray's boat was a 20-footer named Union Pride, docked at Mosquito Lake. That man-made puddle where steelworkers drown hangovers on weekends. I tailed him there at dusk, my Tacoma blending with the pickup parade, bass thumping from car stereos. He'd called a summit, just uncles and cousins. beers and bullshitting to clear the air post-meeting. But I knew better. The flash drive burned in my pocket, Dad's gift like a grenade pin half-pulled. I parked in the weeds, slipped through the pines, the air thick with lake rot and charcoal smoke. Voices carried over the lap of water, Ray's baritone, booming about Hale loyalty, Mike laughing nervous, other cousins grumbling about Elle's bullshit threats. Fire pit crackled, casting shadows long as regrets. Ray held court, Iron City in hand, his gut straining the Carhartt jacket. Victor's soft. Always was. But us? We built this. Elliot's a punk kid playing God with numbers.
Punk kid.
The words fueled the hike in my veins. I stepped into the light, leaves crunching like bones. Evening. Gentlemen. Silence dropped, heavier than the fog rolling off the water. Ray's face hardened, bottle pausing mid-sip. The fuck you doing here? Elliot? This is family. Family arson club? I tossed the drive at his feet. Plastic skittering over gravel. Pick it up.
Ray.
Watch your masterpiece. His eyes narrowed, fox to wolf. What's this? Gas cans and glory. July 2015. You torched your own deal to cash the insurance. Dad signed off. But you lit the match. Murmurs rippled. Mike edged back. Phone out subtle. Cousin Tommy, the hothead mechanic. Balled fists. Bullshit.
Elle.
Ray straight. Play it. I nodded at the drive. Mike plugged into his phone. Bluetooth to a portable speaker. Grainy footage flickered on his screen. Ray. Hooded. Dousing the strip mall's facade. Flame whooshing like dragon breath. Audio caught his mutter. For the union.
Beak.
For the boys. Ray lunged. But I sidestepped. Years of high school scrapping kicking in. He swung wild. Connecting air. You sneaky little prick. Victor ratted. Dad's done protecting you. I faced the circle. Voice steady as the lake's black mirror. You all knew. The kickbacks. The shells. My trust paid your mortgages while I ate ramen at State. Tommy charged next, but Mike blocked.
Chill. Tom.
Els got us by the balls. The fire popped, embers swirling like accusations. Ray straightened, breathing heavy, sweat beading under the firelight. All right.
Kid.
What's the ask? Money? We pool it. Confession. I met his gaze. Unblinking. Public. To the clan. The paper. And the feds get a copy unless you flip on your union pals, the ones who greenlit the torch job. Laughter barked from Ray. Ugly and raw. Blackmail? From Harlan's golden boy. You're as crooked as us. Crooked? Heat rose. But I banked it. I covered your asses. Forged the claims. Took the audit heat. For family. Family, he sneered, spitting into the flames. That's the game. Elliot. We eat or we starve. Steel's gone. This is survival. Survival. The Rust Belt gospel. But mine was different, calculated.
Cold.
Sign it.
Ray.
Or the video goes viral. Union boss burns dreams. Poetic. He deflated. Shoulders sagging like deflated bellows.
Fine.
But you burn with us if it blows.
Deal.
Handshakes all around. Grips like vices. Beers cracked. Truce toasts. But the air hummed electric. As I walked the dock. Boat rocking gentle. Emily texted. Missed you last night. Dinner tomorrow? Temptation tugged. I replied, yes. Tell me everything. Back home. Loft dark save for the river's gleam. I pored over the drive's extras. Emails. Ray's slush fun logs. Miriam zoomed in, face lit by her desk lamp. You stirred the hornet's nest.
Bubbla.
Ray's calling favors cops. Maybe. Let him. I sipped rye. The burn grounding. Dad's next play?
Guilt.
He's talking reconciliation. But watch your ma, she's the wild card.
Mom.
The enabler supreme. Her therapies weren't just pills. The drive hinted at deeper affairs? Blackmail? I dug deeper. Cross-referencing Zells. Bingo, payments to a PI in Pittsburgh. Tailing.
Me?
Since college. Twist 2, Mom wasn't just using, she was watching. Protecting? Or plotting? Columbus, next day. Rain relentless. I met Emily at her office, a glass tower off High Street. Family law drones buzzing. She looked professional. Pencil skirt. Blouse crisp. But her hug lingered personal. You seem lighter, she said over salads at North Market. Lighter. Fork spearing arugula. Or loaded, she laughed. That sorority sparkle. Both. Tell me about the trust. Really? I did halves. Truths laced with tests. Her reactions, shock at the betrayal. Sympathy for the boy, I was. But questions probed. How far will you go? Ruin them. Ruin, I echoed. Vinaigrette sharp on tongue. Justice. Dinner, she pressed. Foot brushing mine under table. My place. No pressure. Pressure. The kind that built empires or broke them. I agreed. Heart thumping irregular. That night. Her apartment in Short North, loft like mine, but with art prints and wine racks. We cooked pasta. Red sauce simmering like old wounds. Talk flowed. Her cases. Kids fighting over estates. My firm. Gloss shadows. Wine loosened tongues. Her regrets over the divorce. My silences. Then, in the dim kitchen, her lips on mine, hands pulling close. I never stopped, she whispered. Lies or longing, I kissed back. Bodies remembering. Bed tangled, breath sinking. But as she slept, phone glowing on nightstand, I glimpsed a text. Check on Hale boy.
V.
Victor.
Dad?
Or someone else. I slipped out pre-dawn. Her scent on my skin. Questions heavier than regret. Ray's confession dropped Friday. Anonymous email to the Vindicator. Video attached. Headline screamed, Local union leader in arson scandal. Chaos. Protests at the hall. Ray resigning in tears on Facebook Live. Clan blew up, Mom blaming me. Linda excommunicating via prayer chain. Dad called. You did it. Proud? Or hollow? Hollow wins wars, I said, hanging up to sirens in the distance. Emily's text. Saw the news. Hero or villain?
Villain.
The Mirror agreed. Eyes hollow as the mills. But the Hydra grew, now 18 mil. Cost? The soul. Mom's retreat was a spa in Hocking Hills. One of those faux rustic joints with hot stone massages and crystal healing bullshit, tucked in Ohio's Appalachian folds. She invited me post-Ray's fall, mother-son bonding. Baby. Before it all crumbles. Crumbles. As if the Hale Empire was ever more than pyrite. I drove south. leaves turning bloody under tires. Radio scanning static between country ballads and preacher men promising salvation for a tithe. The place reeked of eucalyptus and entitlement, Adirondack chairs by a koi pond, yoga mats unrolled for grief circles. Mom waited in the lobby, swaddled in a robe, face scrubbed raw, no makeup armor. Elliot, she cooed, hugging fierce. You came. For intel. Mostly. The PI payments nagged, why tail me? We hiked a trail, mist cloaking the hollows, her slippers slapping mud. Your father's destroyed, she started, voice quaver. Ray's scandal? It's killing him. We built that union together. Post-strike. Built on my back. Branches snapped underfoot. Rhythm to my pulse. The trust.
Mom.
You signed every withdrawal. She stopped at a overlook, valley yawning like a grave. I did. For survival. After Harlan died, Victor spiraled, bets to fill the void.
I
Needed escapes. Escapes. The pills. The spas. But her eyes darted, secrets deeper. The PI, I said casual, leaning on a rail slick with moss. Pittsburgh investigations. You paid them 10 grand last year. Tailing who? Dad's flings. Her face blanched. Robe slipping shoulder. How? Ledgers don't lie. I stepped closer. Voice low. Me? Or Emily? Both. Whisper cracked. Victor suspected you were hiding assets. After the divorce. He worried you'd cut us out. The PI confirmed it, your meetings with that accountant woman. And Emily. She was a threat. Weakness. Threat. The word chilled deeper than the wind. You sabotaged my marriage. To save you. Tears welled.
Dramatic.
She was gold digging. Baby. I saw the texts, her asking about the fund. Texts. Forged? Or fact? You read my phone? Borrowed it. Once. She clutched my arm. Nails digging. Family first. Elliot. Always. Always. The lie that chained. I pulled free. Fog swallowing her silhouette. Confess.
Mom.
The pills. The surveillance. Or the drive gets a sequel. Matriarch's meds. Hale's secrets exposed. She crumpled against a tree. Sobs echoing hollows.
Please.
I was scared. Of losing you. You lost me at 11. I turned. Trail vanishing into mist. Sign the waiver. Full disclosure. Or join Ray in the headlines. Back at the Spa's Cafe. She slid papers across. Notarized admission. Asset relinquishments. Her hand shook. Forgive me. Forgiveness is earned. I signed as witness. Pocketing copies. Drive back north. Rain sheeting. Emily called. Where you been? Work. Spa day with Mom. Sarcasm dripped. Dinner still on? Tonight. My treat. Her voice warmed, but doubt lingered. V's text haunted. That night. Her place again. Candlelight flickering over takeout tie. Talk skirted edges. Ray's resignation. Mom's breakdown. Then. Post-curry. On the couch. Her head on my shoulder. You're changing?
Él.
Harder. Life does that. Hand tracing her arm. Skin electric. What about you? That text, the V. She stiffened, pulling back. What text?
Saw it.
Morning after. Check on Hale boy. Who's V? Silence stretched. Pad thai cooling. Victor. Your dad.
He.
Reached out after the shooting. Worried you'd spiral. Asked me to keep tabs.
Tabs.
The web tightened. Dad using my ex as spy? You agreed? Just coffee. Once. Eyes pleading.
To help. Él.
I love. Love. Bitter laugh. Or leverage? She stood. Robe slipping vulnerable. Furious. Fuck you. I came back because I care. But you're drowning in this hate.
Hate.
The mirror again. I left. Door clicking soft. Streetlights pooling like spilled trust. Dawn brought Dad's summons, his garage. Tools gleaming under fluorescence. He crutched over. Grease-stained. The man who taught me socket wrenches, now wielding white flag. Your ma called. Broken. Good. I leaned on the workbench. Wrenches clinking. The PI was her.
Huh.
Tagging me for you. He nodded.
Slow.
Paranoia. Thought you were plotting. Turns out, you were. Plotting protection. Voice even. Grandpa's will. I inherit controlling interest in Hale Holdings.
Not you.
Shadows only surfaced when you bled it dry. His laugh rasped.
Pained.
Harlan's ghost. Knew you'd outfox us.
Pause.
Eyes searching. Truce.
Son.
Sign over the holdings clean slate. We're done. Done. I echoed. Pulling the waiver.
Sign this.
Full culpability. Then maybe. He did. Pen scratching like nails on chalkboard. Proud of you, Elliot. Even now.
Pride.
Poison pill. I pocketed it, leaving him to his torque wrenches. Clan imploded next week. Linda's church shunning Ray. Becca's vlogs dissecting the Hale curse, Mike offering to hack back for a cut. I ignored. Focusing the Hydra, now 20 mil. Blue chips and blockchain. But Emily's silence nod. Text, talk. Her reply, not yet. Need space.
Space.
Or scheming. Miriam warned. X's are landmines. Kid. Landmines. I stepped anyway, meeting her at a park off the Olentangy. Benches slick with autumn rot. The spying, I started. No preamble. How deep? Surface, she said. Bundled in scarf. Eyes bruised. Coffee with Vic. He begged, said you were suicidal post-shot. Suicidal. Laugh hollow. And you believed? Part of me did. Admission stung. But I told him no more. Chose you.
Chose.
Verb, tense mattered. Prove it.
How?
Challenge sparked. Testify. If it goes court, perjury on the fraud. Her face fell.
Él.
That's betrayal. Justice. Line blurred. We parted tense. Leaves crunching under unresolved. That night. Loft storm-lashed. A knock, Becca. Soaked. Eyes wild. Uncle él.
Help.
Tommy's cracking, says he'll burn the house like Ray. Family's fracturing bad. Fracturing. My design. But her plea tugged. Innocent in the web. Stay here. I'll handle. Drive to the homestead. Wipers frantic. Heart harder. Inside. Chaos. Tommy raging. Bottle in hand. Mom cowering. Dad shielding. Elliot, she cried. Tommy swung at me, wild, whiskey-fueled. I ducked, countered with a jab clean from the gridiron. He dropped,
sobbing.
You ruined us. You did. I hauled him up to the couch. Confess. End it. Dawn broke with cops. Tommy's voluntary statement. DUIs piling. Clan salvaged. Barely. Mom hugged me fierce. My hero.
Hero.
Villain. The split widened. Emily texted. Saw the news. You're saving them. Saving myself. Reply sent. But the Hydra whispered, cost rising. The casino in Pittsburgh was a glittering tomb, slots chiming like false promises. Blackjack tables ringed by hollow-eyed hopefuls. Dad chose it for our final parley, neutral ground where fortunes flipped on a card. He arrived crutch-free, suit pressed, hair slicked like he was chasing one last score. Elliot, he greeted in the valet circle. Hand extended, not for shake, but a slap on the back. Look at you. King of the hill.
King.
The word chafed. I was more jester in a crown of thorns. We hit the floor. Him nursing a Jack and Coke. Me water, clear head for the con. Sign the full transfer, I said over the din. Passing a folder stamped with Perry's replacements, a Cleveland firm. Sharks in pinstripes. Holdings to me. Clean break. He flipped pages. Light strobing his face, reds and blues like a fever dream. Everything? The house. The cars. Debts paid first. I nodded to the ledger on my phone. 2.5 mil owed.
Idra covering via anonymous wires.
Then freedom. Freedom. He signaled the dealer. Sliding chips for Pai Gao. Like Harlan, locked in trusts. Dying bitter? Grandpa died free. You chained him. Cards dealt. Tiles clacking. He bet heavy, bluff or broke. Emily's absence echoed. Her last text. Can't do this. Too dark.
Dark.
The shadow swallowing light. But Becca's gratitude lingered. You're the glue.
Uncle.
Glue or grenade. Dad folded bad. Losing 500 on a dragon. Your ma's clean now. Rehab for real. Ray's talking please 6 months. Maybe.
Pause.
Eyes sly. But the big one. The union slush. Fed circling. They want names.
Names.
Mine? You point at me? Never. Lie smooth. But leverage. That's your game. Right?
Game.
The bluff called. I stood. Folder slapping the felt. Sign. Dad. Or the video drops, yours and Ray's. He signed. Flourish dramatic. Then pulled an envelope from his jacket. Your birthday gift. Real one. Inside, a letter. Grandpa's scrawl, dated my birth. Elliot. Boy, the trust's bait. Real inheritance? The company. Hale's steel relics, patents from the 70s. Worth millions if revived.
Bait.
Twist 3. The fund was decoy. Real prize buried in rust. Patents for alloy tech. Obsolete till now green steel boom. Dad knew. Why hide? Test. He grinned. Wolfish. See if you'd fight.
Fight.
The rage crested. You gambled my life. Built character. He raised his glass. To Hales. I left him to the tables. Envelope burning. Drive back. Turnpike black. Mind reeling. Miriam confirmed. Patents legit. Value exploding with Biden's infra bill. 50 mil potential. Home. Loft humming. Emily waited, uninvited. Key copied from divorce days? We need to talk, she said, wineglass trembling. About. I poured, joining her at the window. River serpentine below. The testimony. I can't. Eyes wet. But I know something. Your dad, he paid me off. Post-divorce. $50K to stay away. Paid off. The wedge bought. And I took it. Shame cracked. Needed the law school debt gone.
But now. I want in.
Help you in clean.
In.
Ally or Aesop's sleeve. I kissed her then, fierce. Claiming. Prove it. Dig on the patents. Nights blurred. Her at my side. Laptops glowing. Cross-referencing IP filings. Becca crashed too. Post-Tommy drama. Teach me finance. Uncle. Trio against the clan. Fragile front. But Dad's bluff deepened. Feds raided the homestead. IRS tailing Mom's Yoga LLC. He called. You're doing?
No. Truth.
Chicken's home. Help us. Plea raw. For old times. Old times. BBQs.
Catch in the yard.
Sign the patents over.
Full.
He did, faxed from a burner. Victory tasted ash. Climax brewed at the clan Thanksgiving, forced by Linda's prayers for unity. Turkey carved in the McMansion. Tensions thick as gravy. Ray showed. Shamed. Plate heaped defiant. Mom fluttered. Dad toasted resilience. I sat and Emily beside, public now. Her hand under table anchor. Then Dad stood, glass raised. To Elliot, who saved us from ourselves. Murmurs.
Claps.
But his eyes, daggers. Post-dinner. Den private. The patents. You leaked to feds.
No.
Lie this time. Emily's dig uncovered. Dad's side hustle. Selling IP shadows to Chinese firms. Treason light. You bastard. He lunged. Crutch forgotten. Fist connecting jaw. Blood copper. Vision stars. Emily screamed. Becca pulled him off. Cops again, assault charges.
His.
As they cuffed, he spat. It's not over.
So.
Not over. The split. Clan divided. Half hailing me savior. Half scorning destroyer. Emily whispered. We run now.
Run? No. Stand.
The Mahoning River ran black under December ice, carrying ghosts of mills long shuttered, steel skeletons rusting like forgotten sins. I met Dad there, pre-dawn, at the old footbridge where we'd fished as kids, bobbers dancing on currents that once powered empires. He waited, bundled in parka, breath fogging like confessions. No crutches now, the knee healed crooked, a limp to match his pride. You leaked the China deals, he said. No preamble. Voice gravel over water's rush. Feds swarming. 20 years if convicted. Truth burned. Emily's dig hit patered. Encrypted emails. Wire transfers to Shanghai shells. Dad fencing patents for crypto. Funding one last spender. You sold out America, I said. Rail cold under palms. For blackjack. Survival. Echo of Ray. Unions gutted. Jobs gone. Had to feed the beast.
Beast.
The addiction devouring.
Confess.
Plea to 10. I'll vouch. His laugh, whipped by wind.
Vouch.
After you torched the family? Torched. Fury crested. You did fund. Marriage.
Trust.
I rebuilt. Rebuilt on lies. He stepped close. Eyes wild. That envelope? Bait 2. Harlan knew you'd weaponize it. But the real twist, the trust? I knew about Miriam. From day one.
Knew.
The bridge swayed. World tilting.
You.
Played me. Tested. Grin feral. See if blood ran true. It did, ruthless. Ruthless. Mirror shattered. I grabbed his collar. River roaring below. Why? 'Cause you're me. Son. Gambler at heart. Struggle brief. He was wiry still. Pushed him back. Rail digging ribs. Emily's call cut. L? Feds at your loft. Patent's fraud. Dad framed you. Framed. The counterpunch. I shoved phone away. Lies. Half. He straightened code. Signed her name on the china wires. Cover.
Cover.
Sacrifice or setup. Why me? 'Cause you win clean. I lose dirty. Eyes softened.
Rare.
Take the fall?
Nah.
Fight.
Fight.
The word ignited. I left him to the dawn. Tires screaming south. Loft raided. Agents in windbreakers. Boxes hauled. Emily detained for questioning. Becca bailed her. Uncle. What the hell? Chaos email. Mom hysterical. Ray offering muscle. Miriam's bunker call. Kid. It's bad. Signatures match your loops. Your ink. Digital too. Digital. Forged deep. Dad. Obvious. She coughed smoke. But prove it? Needle in haystack. Haystack. The hydra thrashed. Accounts frozen.
20,000 ist pending probe.
Emily at my side. Law firm's scrambling motions. We counter-sue, she urged. Coffee black as resolve. Family betrayal angle. Betrayal. Core rot. Nights blurred. Depositions. Affidavits. Becca crashing with takeout prayers. Clan's fracture peaked Christmas Eve. Neutral at Linda's. Tree twinkling ironic. Tension crackled like bad wiring. Ray glaring. Mom medicated serene. Dad absent, flu. Gifts exchanged stiff. Becca's scarf for me. Mike's gadget. Then. Under tree. Envelope anonymous. Inside. Confession tape. Dad's voice. Elliot's innocent. I forged it all. For the game. Time-stamped yesterday.
Gift.
Or grenade. I played it on my phone. Room hushing. Gasps. Tears, Mom collapsing. Ray cursing.
Vic.
You fool. Feds got the copy Christmas morn, cleared me. Indicted him. Plea. 15. White-collar wing at Allenwood. Victory? Clan reunited in grief. Hugs at the courthouse. Mom's proud whispers. But Emily's distance grew. This life. It's toxic.
El.
Toxic. The poison spread. Becca thrived in turning at my firm, learning the ropes. Shadows lightened. But Dad's last visit. Through glass. You won.
Son.
But at what cost?
Cost.
The split eternal, hero to some, monster to mirrors. Worth it, was it? Grin faint. Grandpa's test. Would you forgive? Forgive. The unasked. I hung up. Glass fogging touch. Spring thawed the Mahoning. Waters churning brown with redemption's silt. Dad shipped out in January, Allenwood's gray walls swallowing him whole. Appeals denied like bad bets. The Hydra unfroze. 25 mil now. Patents revived in a Cleveland fab lab. Green steel humming for EV batteries. Emily and I patchworked therapy sessions in German village. Her hand in mine during board meets. We're building, she'd say. Kissing temple. Building. Fragile as new leaves. Clan mended crooked. Raised probation community service. Preaching anti-corruption at VFW halls. Mom's AA meetings. Her drawl steady sans pills. Becca graduated OSU. My junior partner. Sharp as Harlan's ghost. Linda's forgiveness baked in casseroles. Though her eyes held judgment. Tommy sobered. Wrenching cars clean. Holidays healed slow. Easter ham without handcuffs. July 4th without shots fired. But the twist lingered. Festering like untreated rust. Dad's letters from prison. Cryptic. Philosophical. Elliot. The fund was never money. It was the measure of a man. You passed, ruthless mercy.
Mercy.
The word debated in my skull. Nights when Emily slept sound and I paced the loft. River whispering doubts. One April dawn. Package arrived, no sender. Postmarked Allenwood. Inside, a single poker chip. Casino red. Engraved Hale House rules. And a note. One last hand. Visit. I went. Drive east through blooming dogwoods. Heart heavy as lead. Visitation room sterile. Vending hum. Dad looked diminished, orange jumpsuit baggy. Hair thinned, but eyes alive. Gambler's gleam. Sun. Greeting warm. No glass now, contact visits for good behavior. Dad. I sat. Chip sliding across Formica. The hand. He pocketed it.
Leaning in.
The real secret. Grandpa's will? Dual clause. Forgive the debt, full control. Or avenge. Half to charity. Shadows yours.
Dual.
The test forked. You knew.
Guessed. Chuckle dry.
Chose avenge. Charity gets 12 mil, kids like you once were.
Kids.
The hook looped. Why tell now? 'Cause you're me. Elliot. But better. Forgive or split the pot.
Split.
The reader's dilemma. Avenge stains hands. Forgive frees none. I stood. Decision crystallizing. Half it is. Charity for the rest. Shadows for the fight. His nod proud.
Pained.
Twist. Emily knew. Last summer. Confessed to me, took the payoff, but gave it back. To your Hydra.
Knew.
The final gut. Emily, complicit. Cleansed. Debate eternal. Outside. Sun high. I called her. Truth. Truth. Voice steady. Paid back before us.
Clean slate. Slate.
I drove west. River welcoming. Charity wired. Youth Trust Initiative. Youngstown kids with ledgers. Not lies. Shadows?
Minute.
Fueling startups. Unions reformed. Ending? No tidy bow. Dad paroled in 5. Maybe reformed. Emily and I wed quiet, courthouse. Becca, maid of honor. But nights. Chip on nightstand. I wonder, right or wrong, savior or scorner. The fund echoes empty, but full of lessons. In America, revenge isn't victory, it's the mirror, cracking underweight. And we all pick shards.